The movie starts with Barry Allen as a kid stuck in the middle of a highway, running after a passing car for help, but the driver seems to have no interest in underage blonde boys, safe to say it wasn't President Trump. His mom grabs him by the collar and teaches him a prayer passed down from his grandma.
Accept the things you cannot change, have the courage to change the things you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference.
The scene cuts to another day where Barry runs home excited for his mom's birthday, only to find she's been murdered, leaving him devastated. And years later, we see adult Barry at her grave with Iris, blaming himself.
If I just ran a little faster, I'd have been there.
Barry, you were just a boy. There was nothing you could have done.
We don't know that. If I'd been there, maybe I could have stopped it.
Come on, we all know how that would have ended. Iris comforts him when he gets an alert about an attack on the Flash Museum. He rushes to the site, and this place is getting attacked by the rogues. Flash is welcomed by Top, and he goes like... As he fights his way into the museum, he spots Captain Cold, Heatwave, Captain Boomerang, Mirror Master, and the whole squad pulling up, ready to cause chaos. Flash knows he is outnumbered, but he also knows these guys have brains the size of an acorn. He is cornered by a surprise attack and asks who is the mastermind behind this plan. That's when he appears. Zoom, also known as Reverse Flash, one of the biggest haters in the comic world, tells Barry that he only needed these idiots to distract him and has attached a bomb to each one of them while he entered the museum. A bomb that would destroy the entire central city. Before he can escape, Flash throws his sticky stuff at Pikachu, trapping him completely. But the maniac is ready to sacrifice himself if it means Flash is going to die. The Justice League arrives at the scene to help Flash. They advise a plan to take each one of the rogue members away from Central City and try to disarm the bombs as they don't have much time. They all succeed, and while Zoom is taken to prison, he mocks Barry by saying,
"But no matter how fast you run, you can't save everyone. Not the ones that matter to you."
And then the title drops. Oh, my bad. Flash wakes up at his office, confused by the events like elongated man being murdered and watching Captain Boomerang and Cold on TV when they were just caught yesterday. He decides to figure out everything later and heads out to take care of villains on loose, only to find out his ring missing and trips on the stairway. From here on, Barry finds out the world is completely changed. His mom is alive, the world is about to end because Aquaman and Wonder Woman are at war, and instead of super speed, his superpower in this universe is that he likes... Bruh. Yeah, he's gay. We then cut to Batman, chasing Harley in this universe. He is using guns and ends up throwing Harley off the building to die. Cyborg arrives at the scene and asks him to join his team as the Defenders of Earth during this war. He tries to convince Batman that if they want a chance against the Atlanteans and the Amazons, they need the best strategist on their side. Batman clearly denies and says,
"War's over, soldier. You just don't know it yet."
Meanwhile, Barry goes to the Batcave to find Bruce and figure out what's going on. Turns out Bruce died that night in the alley instead of his parents, and the Batman in this universe is actually Bruce's father, Thomas Wayne. Batman doesn't trust the time travel crap Barry gives him until... So Barry starts trying to explain him the whole time travel situation, but Batman doesn't trust him. Barry decides to show Batman his costume to win his trust, but is shocked to find out the costume in his ring actually belongs to Zoom. He comes to a conclusion that it was Zoom who did it. He went in past and changed something that completely changed the future. We then see Wonder Woman kill Steve Trevor as he attempts to rescue Lois Lane, who was trying to gather intel on the Amazons, while the Atlanteans kill Slade and Lex Luthor for trying to sabotage their doomsday device, showing just how chaotic and broken this universe really is. Back at Wayne Manor, Barry and Batman try to recreate the accident that gave Barry his powers so that he can go back in time and fix everything, but it goes terribly wrong. While unconscious, Barry gets a vision of events that happened in this messed up timeline. Superman's pod crashes in Metropolis rather than being found by the Kents. Bruce dies in his mother's arms, and the incident drives her insane, turning her into the Joker. Aquaman and Wonder Woman sleep together, which makes Mira, Aquaman's wife, furious. She attacks Wonder Woman, and let's just say things end up pretty badly for her. Once Barry regains his consciousness, he convinces Batman to try to recreate the experiment once again, and they actually pull it off this time. Flash gets his powers back and goes straight to fix things. He goes as fast as he can but is unable to time travel, figuring out that another speedster is accessing the Speed Force. You guessed it, it's Zoom. Now Flash, unable to access the Speed Force, tells Batman that the only other person who can time travel is Superman. Batman explains that there is no meta-human in this universe that fits the description given by Flash. Flash tells Batman about his memories of this universe and talks about the meteor that crashed in Metropolis. They meet with Cyborg and decide to rescue their alien. They discover that Superman was being held at a government facility as a lab rat. He is pale, weak, and needs the sun. Superman, for the first time in his life, watching humans who are good and trying to help him, considers them his friends. On their way out, our heroes are attacked by government agents. They demand that the alien be handed over to them. Superman, trying to help his friends, uses his heat vision, but unable to control it, ends up killing all the soldiers. Affected by the destruction he caused, Superman leaves the site. Before they can stop him, Flash gets a seizure, his memories of this new universe replacing those of the old one. Meanwhile, we see Hal Jordan, aka Green Lantern, who never got the ring in this universe, attempt to destroy the Atlanteans' doomsday device using an alien spaceship, but he is eaten by a sea creature controlled by Aquaman. Once Flash is up, they get to know that the final battle between the Atlanteans and the Amazons has begun, and there's nothing they can do now. Oh yes, if you are wondering what a bunch of kids are doing here, they are the Shazam kids. Batman says he doesn't want to miss the scenes at Gotham during the end of the world, but Flash says,
Look, you guys may not know me, but all of us have powers, skills, and abilities. Where I come from, heroes use those powers to fight to make the world a better place, whether it's their world or not.
But Superman, you said he was our last best hope.
We're alive, Vic, and where there's life, there's hope. We'll go to London, fight both sides, and save the world in the process.
Everyone agrees, and they leave for London in Batman Airlines. On their way, Batman shows Flash a video clip in which Lois Lane is saved by a yellow speedster, so they figure they are going to find Zoom there as well. On their arrival, they plan to restrain the leaders. Once they have Aquaman and Wonder Woman, they can call off the war. Cyborg, Flash, and Batman take on Aquaman, while Wonder Woman faces Shazam, but she is calling him Captain Thunder. The battle gets intense. Batman takes a hit from the rear but is saved by Flash. Barry tries to stop the bleeding, but Batman tells him to stop fighting and find the speedster to fix reality. Then Zoom finally shows himself. Flash chases him across the city and they exchange a number of blows. Zoom, being the maniac he is, messes with Barry's head and gets his guard down. While down, Flash is stabbed in the leg and takes a number of blows from Zoom. That's when Zoom breaks it to him. Turns out it was Flash who created this timeline. Barry went back in the past to save his mom, which broke the time barrier. A slight change that completely altered events. Barry watches his friends struggle. Wonder Woman stabs Billy Batson, putting an end to Shazam. Aquaman corners Cyborg and is about to deliver the final blow. Just then, Superman arrives at the scene, saving his friend, but Vic has already taken a lot of damage and couldn't make it. The Atlanteans lose the battle. Aquaman, trying to get back on his feet, is stabbed from behind by Wonder Woman, and, just moments before his death, activates the Doomsday device, a machine that uses Captain Atom as its power source. The explosion erupts. Zoom is ready to die in this timeline if it means the Flash will lose. Zoom keeps up the trash talk.
As long as I can siphon off the Speed Force, you can't escape this timeline. I'm afraid there just isn't enough Speed Force to go around.
Yup, whichever the timeline, Batman is the GOAT. Batman, in his last moments, hands Barry a letter and tells him to run so that he can fix everything. Flash runs with all his might and breaks the time barrier again, chasing his past self before he can stop his mother's death. Once again, Barry wakes up at his office and discovers that the world is fixed. He visits his mother's grave and finally understands what the prayer she taught him meant. He explains everything that happened to Bruce but is confused about having preserved all the memories of that timeline.
I remember every birthday cake my mother ever baked me. My room. Everything. Perhaps some kind of temporal after effect?
Or perhaps it was a gift.
Barry hands Bruce the letter from Thomas Wayne. We see Batman break down as he reads a letter from his father, and the movie ends by quietly marking the beginning of the DC animated universe.